So besides buying rental property, another real estate to look at is land. And there's many different reasons why you might buy land. Well, maybe you know that you can build a great house on it or a multifamily, or maybe you know something other people don't know that's coming down the way and that you can get in front of that and make a massive profit on land. Well, today we're going to be going to tax auctions for land. There's actually 7 different properties. We're going to go check them out today. Maybe we'll win something. Maybe we know something you don't know. But let's just go check it out. If you have questions about it, please leave them below. And it always helps if you hit the notification bell icon so that YouTube says, hey, this is great content. Thanks so much. So we are on our way to Heath right now to go check out all the different lots. So like I said, there's 7 different parcels that are for sale. These are tax foreclosure auctions once again. So that means unfortunately owners did not pay their taxes and the city basically took them back for tax title because they, for basically the back owed taxes, and now what they're doing to recoup the taxes, they are foreclosing on them and auctioning them off. So now we have an opportunity to pick up these parcels, possibly for a song, hopefully for a song, and kind of looking at that. So we're gonna go walk them. We already did pull up what's called the GIS map. So we will pull up the parcels on the GIS map, get an idea of what they have for frontage, setback. Some of them have 10 acres, some of them are 5 acres, some of them are smaller than an acre, some of them are conforming, some of them are non-conforming, and that just means they do meet zoning regulations, so you could build on them, but the question is, does it make sense to build on them? We really won't really see that until we look at them about, are they wet? Is there a lot of ledge? Are they freaking a hill? What makes sense on it? So we kind of really got to put our eyes on them to really understand. Besides that, then what do you do with the land? Now, are you looking to develop? Maybe that's something normally we don't do, but we might have a couple investors that do, so we could kind of flip it over to them. So it'd be kind of a wholesale land deal. That's a possibility. The next thing is, hey, maybe with land, you want to consider of what's coming down in the future. So if you know, for instance, that there's a new plant, like a new car plant that building coming down the way, and it's going to provide 20,000 jobs per se, and that's going to be a big boom in that area, and these are right around that area, and then they're going to need a demand for housing. Well, that might be an opportunity to get ahead of the curve, and for the urban development that's coming, that you'll then be able to sell that land or develop on that land for 10, 100x of what you paid for a few years prior. But that is a gamble. But if you have the foresight and the knowledge to kind of get that information ahead of time, you could potentially have a really big windfall. Now, it's not normally our play. Normally we're buying rental properties, we're buying, single family houses to flip. But with land, especially with tax land, we can often get them for such a song. I mean, if I can pick up a couple lots for $1,000, really? Why not? I mean, now you're going to have to pay the taxes, but you're not going to have insurance. You're really your holding costs will be the taxes. And up in Heath, there's not that much for taxes. So you're just going to sit on land. And if you, have a good, plan for it, then you could, 2, 3, 10 years from now, have a huge jackpot. And if you're only really spending $1,000 on, the land there, plus maybe, $1,000, $200,000 a year in taxes. I mean, maybe it's even less. It might only be $500 for taxes. I think some of them are less than $500 in taxes. So it's like your costs are very little, and the upside potential could be huge if you know what you're looking at. So that's why it's really important for us to get there, get ahead of time, so that we can look at the lots and figure out, what makes the most sense. Is there a path to making a decent profit? If not, then we'll say no, and we'll just, check out, see what they go for, and move on. But it's worth actually checking out. I mean, 7 tax auctions, there's probably a deal in there. So we just got here, and it's actually at the town hall. It looks like it's town of everything. It's got everything on one spot. And so the auctions are all going to happen here. So it's a good thing that we got a chance to run around a little bit and look at all the properties beforehand, whereas normally here we go to the properties and we have the auction at the property. This one is a little bit more unique because it's actually going to be happening in the town hall, sitting all down, and now we have to kind of have our due diligence ahead of time so we can bid. At first I thought there was gonna be no one here. I thought it was gonna be the only bidder, and I was gonna be crickets, but there's quite a few people here. So this should be an interesting bidding process. So,
Balance of the purchase price and all fees must be paid within 30 days, and time is of the essence, and you will be closing with a town's council. You're buying the properties as is, okay, very, very important, and with no representations or warranties of any kind regarding the properties. The buyer is acquiring the properties based solely on his or her own independent investigation and not in reliance on any information, whether verbal, written, whether it was on a sign, on our website. We all try and do our jobs to the best of our ability, and so it is up to you to form your own opinions and rely on your own information. $3,000 I have bid once, $3,000 twice. Sold for $3,000 to bidder number 8.
So honestly, I am flabbergasted for what this stuff. I was going here thinking that I would barely pay a couple $1,000s, and some lots went for over 20 grand. Like, I don't know, either my due diligence was wrong or I didn't know something they knew. All I can say is I'm not a local. This was an hour drive for us, and we were just hoping to get a steal. And now I'm getting all these texts. But something I didn't know, I don't know. So all I can say is, it's really important to do your due diligence and stick to your numbers. I only knew what I knew, so I stuck to my numbers and I didn't bid anything. And they must have some insight that I don't have, which is, it happens. I don't know everything. I'd like to think so sometimes, but I don't. Yeah, so I hope they all got a good deal. I'm guessing they all seem pretty happy with what they bid. Chris was clearly a little frustrated. He was trying to get 3 lots, but he got the main one he wanted, so that's good for him. Congrats, Chris. So yeah, that's kind of how it happens. So unfortunately, we drove an hour there, now an hour back, and we got 0. So 7 lots, 0 for us. But it was a little bit of a learning experience, and it was a nice drive, so that's always good. And we'll have to hope to get one on the next one. So if this was at all interesting to you, please hit the like. Make sure you also hit the notification bell icon, because we're coming out with 2 new videos every week. We got tons of shorts, as you might know. And if you have any questions about auctions or land, leave it below. I'll try to get to all the comments right away so that I can hopefully give you a little bit more insight. And as always, guys, I really appreciate you joining our channel. Thanks so much. Have a good one.